The issue of panhandling and begging highlighted the latest Durango City Council meeting. Hello, I'm Dean Brookie, Mayor and Durango City Councilor. Council Connection is designed to give you a snapshot of the happenings at the most recent Durango City Council meeting. This time we look at the May 5th meeting. This meeting began with the presentation of 4 proclamations. The first declared the week of May 17th to 23rd as the National Public Works Week, recognizing those who maintain our streets, utilities, and other services. Another proclamation declared May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week of May 10th as National Police Week. May 7th was designated as National Day of Prayer, both nationally and in Durango. And the week of May 3rd was recognized as Nurses Week. The consent agenda for this meeting consisted of 7 items. The consent agenda is intended to allow the City Council, by a single motion, to approve matters that are considered routine or non-controversial. There's usually no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or a citizen requests an item to be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 2 routine items that were on the agenda were removed and briefly discussed. During public participation, Emily Meisner of the Ignacio Chamber of Commerce talked about the upcoming Southwest Colorado Outdoor Expo.
Let me give you a small snapshot of what this is. We have done some research and we have discovered that $60 million is spent annually in La Plata County on outdoor activities. By doing that, we've discovered that there is nowhere that you can showcase all the new and different and exciting things that are coming down the pipe in every aspect that there can be, whether it be RVs or skiing or jet skiing or boats or, oh gosh, spas, trucks, SUVs, any of these things.
The Expo will feature all those activities and more. It will be held May 30th and 31st at the Sky Ute Fairgrounds at Ignacio. Colorado Municipal League Executive Director Sam Mamet also addressed Council. He discussed CML's role in watching out for the interests of thousands of government entities in the state. And he took time to recognize Mayor Pro Tem Christina Rinderle, who presently serves as Vice President of the CML.
I think that this is the first time we've had somebody from the City Council of this great city, Durango, serve as our president of our statewide association. And Christina has served on our board of directors the last several years, most recently as vice president. And in June, at our annual meeting, and we generally get about 1,000 municipal officials from all over the state that come and join us, she'll be installed as our president. And that is a tremendous honor because it is a recognition of her leadership, but it is more importantly a recognition of the leadership of Durango and the manner in which communities throughout the state view Durango. I think she deserves a round of applause for that. So I hope you'll join me in telling her to go. And she's a pistol, so she's going to keep me on my toes for sure, and I'm looking forward to that.
In council reports and actions, I noted that Colorado U.S. Senators Michael Bennet and Cordy Gardner recently visited Durango. They received an update on the status of Lake Nighthorse and on Durango's planning for improvements at the airport. Councilor Sweetie Marbury reported on her attendance at the Fort Lewis graduation, noting that this was the first time a master's degree has been awarded at FLC. 3 legislative public hearings were on the agenda for the May 5th meeting. One of these was a public hearing to amend the city code regarding begging within the city limits. Many communities, including Durango, are struggling with controlling overzealous panhandlers without violating their right to free speech. City Attorney Dirk Nelson detailed recent court challenges and opinions on the issue and indicated the city is considering an ordinance that would protect residents and others from beggars in certain instances. These include safe havens where panhandling would be prohibited, such as bus stops or on buses or near ATMs. The ordinance would also prohibit aggressive begging. Almost a dozen individuals, mostly downtown business owners, also commented on the problems that they face.
Every now and then my wife gets me to go out to Walmart, and it's kind of painful, but you know, as far as aggressive panhandling, I've noticed, you know, the intersection there is extremely hard to get out of, anywhere from 3 to 5 o'clock on a good day. And, you know, there seems to be 4 or 5 aggressive panhandlers out there now, and it's almost a traffic violation when you're trying to get out of there, people slamming on their brakes, trying to donate money. And
we have a bench that's out front of our window, and apparently it's a magnet for street people. There's a trash can there, there's an ashtray there, there's people going into Seasons restaurant waiting to go in and stuff. So they'll sit there for hours in front of our window. We can't even, and I have gone out and asked them if they would just move down the street or up the street, you know, away from our store. And they told me, there's nothing you can do, you can't make me move, and I'm not leaving.
We've had a lot of instances that I've dealt with where, like the gentleman just said, where there's panhandlers parked on the bench right next to our office door with dogs and bags and stuff everywhere. Our people, our staff and our customers are having trouble getting around them. I have a 14-year-old stepdaughter that has been harassed by them.
One of my worst experiences in historic downtown Durango was an evening I stayed beyond the store closing, only to encounter a musician busking in our doorway. It was still light out as I approached the door to leave. I knocked from inside for the musician to move aside. He only moved aside after finishing his song. As I locked the door behind me, I asked the musician to please leave. At this point, he set his instrument down, began waving his finger in my face and yelling at me that I shouldn't care what he does because my store was closed. It was an intimidating experience as my back was literally against the door. As I tried to step around the musician, he moved with me so I couldn't get around him without making physical contact. His voice rose. His dissertation was lengthy. I did not respond to a word in an effort to not provoke the situation.
We do have issues with aggressive panhandling downtown, and things that we've seen are the touching. People will be so intoxicated on a bench, and then they reach out and touch somebody coming by, trying to get their attention. Although it seems not necessarily super overly aggressive to the person that may be doing it, to the person that's being touched or their space that's being violated, that's a big thing. And so we get those complaints regularly about, mainly around the benches and that type of thing. The other type of complaints that we get often are groups of people soliciting at the same time. And then if they're not garnering the attention of somebody, one or two of those members of that group will get up and actually, interfere with the pathway of somebody walking through, which can be also very intimidating. So it's important that we offer up some form of protections to these folks that are downtown, that we have some form of recourse that we can address these types of situations when it's aggressive.
So the plan is to finalize the draft of an ordinance after we get public input tonight, get feedback on what people see as being the most problematic areas. Then we continue to confer with interested parties and then schedule this for adoption at a future council meeting. I think the anticipation would be that we would probably have first reading on an ordinance at the next council meeting, which would be the 19th.
In a companion measure to the begging ordinance, council also heard about a proposal to restrict use of medians on city roads. The ordinance would prohibit standing on medians for longer than reasonably required to safely cross a road. No one appeared to speak against either issue. The public hearings on both these measures were continued until the May 19th meeting, when more testimony will be taken and ordinances will likely be introduced. Another public hearing dealt with an annexation request for 3 parcels of land covering almost 5 acres between Home Depot and Baker Lane. And there was one quasi-judicial hearing to consider a lease to Hood Mortuary, continuing the operation of a crematorium at Greenmont Cemetery. 6 ordinances were introduced. 4 dealt with items which were subject of earlier public hearings, including modifications in city water and sewer rates for those with sprinkler systems, and a lease of city land for use as a parking lot by the train. Lastly, a reminder of some significant upcoming events. The Durango's Farmers Market is now open for the season, each Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon in the First National Bank parking lot. The Taste of Durango, which benefits the Manna Soup Kitchen, will be held Sunday, May 17th in downtown Durango. More information is available online at tasteofdurango.com. And lastly, make plans to help clean up downtown Durango during Durango Clean Day. This event is sponsored by the Durango Chamber and will be Friday, May 22nd. Come down to the Strader parking lot next to Magpies at 8:45 a.m., enjoy free coffee and donuts, and then pitch in to help a little with spring cleaning of our community. And that's Council Connection for the May 5th Durango City Council meeting. I'm City Councilor and Mayor Dean Brookie. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can always contact your city councilors via email at citycouncil@durangogov.org.